And we are live. And I'll hit this record button over here. And we'll be 3 seconds off. So that's cool. I'll hit the hide button there. All right. Yeah, my fantasy teams all the way across the gamut there. I'm in 3 leagues.
Yeah.
All 3 leagues, I just kept getting notifications. Injury report, injury report, injury report. All my guys went from healthy to questionable, questionable to doubtful, and now most of them are out.
Yeah, me too.
It's awesome. So we've got 2 viewers, and they're probably you and me.
Probably.
That's how we roll. Alrighty. If you are prepared,
As much as I ever am, I guess.
I will hit this. What up, John? I will hit this countdown jammy here, and we will get into it. And let's do that with a Shri. Woo's your mama?
This week on the Mr. Throwback Thursday podcast, we bring you a fresh in piece, a name dispute, a whole lot of pass news. We take a trip to Bel Air, and once again, new music from a friend of the show. All that and more. Let's listen.
It's not just any day. It's Mr. Throwback Thursday.
All you kids want to get on and shit.
You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
I'll be damned.
At the count of 3, I want y'all to tell me the name of my DJ. 1, 2, 3.
The poppers pop and the breakers break. I can tell us say oh and the girls say hey. Give it up for the DJ, Mr. Throwback Thursday.
And now, here's your hosts, Bill Winters and Mr. Throwback Thursday himself, Jamie Robinson.
And hello again, everybody. Welcome to Mr. Throwback Thursday podcast, episode 347. Coming at you live and direct from your 2 favorite hip-hop heads, Bill up in New York, Jamie down in Virginia. How you doing, my friend?
I'm well. It's starting to get a little chilly outside. And, you know, I understand that chili comes in a bowl. It's not a temperature, but, you know, it's...
Oh, no. Chili's a temperature. And real chili doesn't have beans in it.
No, but I'm prepared because I have my Death Wish cold brew in a can.
I have my Death Wish hot brew in a Mr. Throwback Thursday.
That's a fancy mug you got there. It's almost as fancy as the mug I've got.
Which I have not received mine yet, but that is only because it hasn't arrived yet. So
it's only because they just came to my house 2 days ago.
That is the new Elemental Like Uranium Patrons Only mug.
Which is very difficult to see on a green screen because it is yellow clay and green. But
look at that TBT on the bottom of it too.
Yes. No. They came to my house Saturday afternoon.
Yes.
They were packed up and in the mail today.
Very nice.
I worked my arse off.
I'm sure you did, because there were quite a few pre-orders, I think, on that one.
Yeah, there were a lot of people who said, I would definitely want one. I definitely want one. I said, all right. Ran down the patron list, and I messaged pretty much. I put a message on the Patreon page, and I know a lot of people are patrons because they want to help us out, and they don't really care about the show or what's going on. I won't name names, but I know there's some of those people out there. So I put it up on the page, and then I messaged every single patron directly that I had access to, because I don't have every single person's information, but all the ones that I have, I sent them messages directly, said, hey, it's here. It's just for you guys. Go get some.
And many people did.
They did, because I had 3 trips from my truck to the post office.
Wow. It's pretty busy stuff, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to thank everybody for the support and to our new patrons who we will hear some later because they came in Looney's level or above. And thanks to everybody.
And they'll get mentioned.
And when you get your mugs,
take pictures.
Yes, tag us in everything, everywhere. We want to see.
By the way, the Wacko Assassin doesn't consider hers a coffee mug because she doesn't drink coffee. This is her beer stein, she says.
That works too. You put whatever you want in it.
You are not limited to what you put in these tankards.
Yeah. What else do I want to get out in the beginning? As we record, happy birthday to Dave from De La Soul.
Yes.
Formerly known as Trugoy the Dove.
Right. Now just Dave.
And on Throwback Thursday, as we release, happy birthday to Dr. Tim.
Ah, the good doctor, who I think is whooping my tail feathers in football this week because everybody I have got hurt.
Yeah, I got all kinds of messages this weekend. Hey, this guy's dead. This guy's hurt.
It's kind of what I got too. So
yeah,
I think
he's a eunuch. He's a eunuch. He's dead. Yeah, that's how my Yahoo notifications were going this weekend.
Wow.
I didn't look at the eunuch ones, but the ones where they said he was dead, I had to check those out.
History of the world reference here.
Part 1. Yes.
They never made a part 2.
They did not.
So, all right. What do we got tonight? We've got
our
standard lineup of Mr. Throwback Thursday. We have some hip hop headlines. We have some woo news. We have a one and done, a record of the week. Which, did we decide we're staying with the record that we had?
Yeah, because I can get all the music, but I can't import it to where I want it.
So we'll have to wait.
I have no information to give you a playlist because it doesn't exist. So MJ's going to be mad at me, but we will do it next week when it's on Spotify.
We will hold off until we get the full.
Yes, but we will bring you a piece of it before anyone else.
And that would be the old to the new this week because we have one of those. We'll remind you who the artist of the month is. We have a couple more weeks on that. And then I will read some lyrics.
Again, for some of you.
Yes, again for some of you. And to those who have not signed up for the Bill Reads Lyrics Instagram page, it's at Bill Reads Lyrics.
Pretty easy.
You get special Bill Reads Lyrics every week, different from the one we do on the show.
IG,
yes. And then we'll put a bow on this and we'll call it a night.
Yes, John, we will get to fake football news. I completely forgot to write it into the show.
But we'll get to it at the end.
We will, and I will pull up the fake football bumper.
Theme.
Yeah.
But the first bumper you need to pull up, I think, is Hip Hop Headlines because
that would be a good one.
Due for that. So would you kindly hit me with a little of that Triple H?
Yay, yay.
This is Hip Hop Headlines, brought to you by Mr. Throwback Thursday.
We'll get on it. But before it's your turn, John, we have to do it at the end of the show because otherwise people will tune out and we will lose them because they're not in the league.
Right. But
now you should get on it. It's your turn.
And unfortunately, we do have to start this week with a fresh in piece, which is never a good way to start. But
no, but it's always get it out of the way up front so we can fuck off later.
And this was very heavy in my Twitter feed.
Yes,
when it happened. So
yeah, now and I am a Zulu, so imagine the connections I have and where it all came through.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
What up, Jay Slide?
Allhiphop.com is where we went for this. Hip hop legend DJ Lord Yoda X of the Zulu Nation and the Crash Crew has passed
rocking on
away.
the radio.
I've heard that about them.
Yes.
Hip hop has taken some heavy losses this year, as 2020 has been one of the most challenging years in recent memory. DJ Lord Yoda X, a member of the Universal Zulu Nation and the legendary Crash Crew rocking on the radio, has passed away. DJ Lord Yoda X was a legend with few peers that hailed from Harlem, New York, and in 1977 he joined the Crash Crew as a DJ in the collective of hip-hop aficionados. Lord Yoda X, born as Kenny Smith, was beloved by all that knew him and that showed in the condolences that poured in on social media. MC Debbie D, a hip-hop pioneer, said this morning, "I was shocked and saddened to hear of the sudden passing of our hip-hop Zulu brother, Yoda. I know he was passionately working on several projects, and I hope they still come to pass. Prayers and condolences to his natural family and all those that worked with and knew him for decades in the hip-hop family. Rest in peace, Yoda." Photographer and hip-hop historian and friend of the show, Brother Ernie Paniccioli, made remarks as well, giving context to the vast contributions of DJ Lord Yoda X. "I am deeply saddened to hear about the passing of our brother, Lord Yoda X, of the mighty Zulu Nation. He has been part of the hip-hop scene with many of the pioneers, including the mighty Crash Crew. I was just with him in powwow of Soul Sonic Force as part of the People's Campaign to feed the community and the Zulu reunion, and was to meet with him at the People's Church with the Young Lords in East Harlem, but I wasn't feeling well. Brother Reggie Mitchell was there Friday with him and called me to deliver the news. I was just making a comment on a friend's page, being grateful because I knew someone did not wake today among the living, but in the land of the ancestors, and little did I know it would be Lord Yoda. May he rest in power." In an interview, he described his style of DJing. "I was reckless. I was the type of cat that wanted to do the old wild backspinning and other crazy stuff." He told thefoundation.com. He said he would later temper that style, guidance from a fellow member of the Crash Crew, Rockin' on the Radio. Later in his career, Yoda would manage rap legends Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock, as well as start his own indie label. DJ Lord Yoda X will be missed, and all hip-hop and the Mr. Throwback Thursday podcast offer our sincere condolences to the family, friends, and all those who knew and loved DJ Lord Yoda X.
And hey, Lord Yoda X was one of the first hip-hop personalities to follow me on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty cool. And for those of you watching now, for those of you listening, this may not even come out. You may not hear this, but Universal Hip Hop Museum is doing the Hip Hop for Peace streaming right now. We understand if you would leave us to go watch them. They're a little more important. Plus, we will be here on the replay. I'm not sure if they will be, but if they are, I will post it on the Throwback Thursday Facebook page and whatnot.
Absolutely. Hey, we have a very special friend watching on the Instagram page right
Jay
now.
Slide? Oh.
No. Miss Sweet LD.
Hey, Sahela.
Sahela is in the house, so we always make sure we mention her.
Yes.
Our next article.
Just to get her to say Sugar Smack Smooches.
Yes, Sugar Smack Smooches, absolutely. You've just entitled Wild Style, which...
Yeah, I didn't think it needed anything else.
Nope, and... The timeless honesty comes to us from Vulture.com. The timeless honesty of Wild Style, the first hip-hop movie, and also the first movie in our Fresh Flicks series.
Yes, there are people who will argue and say Style Wars was, but, you know, this was the first one that we did to help our posse understand where hip-hop came from movie-wise. Not the music, where hip-hop movies started, and then we'll take them all the way up to, regular full-screen release masterpieces that they are today.
And it's so funny because they're kind of doing what we do. They're just doing it on a more consistent basis. Every week for the foreseeable future, Vulture will be selecting one film to watch as part of our Friday night movie club. This week's selection comes from film critic Bilge Ebiri, who will begin his screening of Wild Style on September 18th at 7 p.m. That was actually last Friday. Head to Vulture's Twitter to catch the live commentary look ahead at next week's movie, which they haven't announced yet.
John wants to watch Body Rock with Renegade's Lorenzo Lamas.
Yes. Held in an abandoned massage parlor on 41st Street.
Why does this sound like a Saturday Night Live Stefan introduction?
Yes, it does.
This place has everything. Held in an abandoned massage parlor.
Held in an abandoned massage parlor on 41st Street, the Times Square show of 1980 represented a pivotal moment in the rise of several New York subcultures.
That's all I can think of. When I read the first line of the art, I said, where's Bill Hader? And can I get him to read this article?
That's the best I can do as far as a Stefan impression goes. Informal grassroots exhibit bringing together more than 100 artists, some of whom, like Jean-Michel Basquiat and Keith Haring, would go on to become major cultural figures. It was a raucous, inclusive affair featuring everything from painting to video art to fashion to music to performance, much of it created by relative unknowns.
Did you say this place has everything?
Yes. The young
Like human
no-wave
parking cones?
filmmaker Charlie Ahern was there too, screening his homemade Super 8mm Kung Fu feature, The Deadly Art of Survival, which he had made with a group of young black and Puerto Rican martial artists on the Lower East Side. It was at the Times Square show that Ahern met budding artist Fred Brathwaite, also known as Fab Five Freddy.
Freddy. Told me
Later
everybody's fly.
Later to become the first host of Yo MTV Raps. They started to dream up 1982's Wild Style, a love song to the city's graffiti artists, and one of the earliest, most momentous portraits of hip-hop culture committed to film. Wild Style was shot on location in and around the Bronx, starring real-life graffiti writers, breakdancers, and rappers, many of them playing either variations of themselves or simply themselves. Made for very little money, it embodies the do-it-yourself aesthetic of its milieu, an anything-goes world where vibrant murals coexist with seemingly bombed-out buildings. Brathwaite, who helped conceive the story, co-produced, co-starred, and oversaw the music, so basically he did everything.
Yes.
This guy did everything.
MTV's Dan Cortez.
Brathwaite saw
with
hip-hop
biscuit knees.
Brathwaite saw hip-hop as belonging alongside those other 1970s New York subcultures, punk and new wave, which represented a lot more than music and seemed to have emerged from the very geography of the city. I wanted to show that for a culture to be complete, it should combine music, dance, and visual art, he said, in Complex's 2013 oral history of the film. And so, Wild Style drifts from a rap battle come pickup basketball game to an impromptu performance by the legendary dancers of the Rocksteady crew, to a performance by old school rap legend Busy B, to a record scratching clinic by Grandmaster Flash, often with the slenderest of narrative motivations. And by
Yes.
slender, we mean none.
There is no story.
All that is probably why Wild Style often feels more like a documentary than a fictional drama. As many have noted, you could cut about 15 or 20 minutes out of it, and you'd be left with a literal documentary.
Yeah.
The story feels at times like a series of familiar setups without much follow-through. Our
Take the blonde lady out, and you've got a documentary.
Our protagonist, Ray, who's played by Lee Quinones, himself one of the city's most legendary subway artists, and along with Ahern and Brathwaite, one of the key conspirators behind conceptualizing the film. A talented graffiti writer who covers entire train cars under the mysterious name of Zorro.
Zorro.
He pines for his ex-girlfriend Rose, who is played by Sandra Fabara, known as Lady Pink, a beautiful fellow artist who has started working with a slightly more legit group calling themselves The Union. With the encouragement of local impresario Fade, played with buckets of charm by Brathwaite himself, Ray is approached by a journalist for the Village Voice, actress and gallerist Patty Astor, looking like a dead ringer for Debbie Harry, whom the filmmakers originally tried to cast.
Yes.
Working on a big feature about graffiti, taking Fade and Ray to an upscale Upper East Side cocktail party, she introduces them to some snooty art world types in the film's sole detour into social satire.
Yeah, he was supposed to do a commission piece for that one rich white lady, and he never paid off.
Meanwhile, Fade hires Ray to do a big mural for a rap convention he's organizing in an abandoned Lower East Side amphitheater. Well, if he did do it, they never showed it.
No, he started doing it,
And they never.
and then he
showed the
didn't know what to do.
None of these various subplots results in any escalating drama. Ray and Rose get back together pretty quickly. The Union is never heard from again. Ray's sojourn into the cocktail party world winds up with his host, art collector Neva Kislak, basically playing herself, seducing him and not much more. The rap convention goes off pretty much without a hitch. Fade seems at times like an oily opportunist, but he ultimately does right by everybody. Ray's brother, briefly back home from the army, criticizes his fondness for graffiti, but there's precious little mention of the city's ongoing war against subway riders. That this is a valid art form is mostly accepted as fact by the film. Any other movie would stretch these various subplots out, mining them for narrative tension and moral messaging.
And bring out Mayor Koch complaining about it and how I am doing.
Dreams would be dashed, plans would be thwarted, friendships would be betrayed, romances shattered, someone would get arrested or killed or at least shot, and of course the blasted, decaying backdrop of the Bronx would somehow scuttle everyone's dreams and desires. But no such thing happens in Wild Style.
No, nothing happens in Wild Style.
All of a sudden the credits just start rolling. And you're like, what did I just miss?
Wait, where'd Zorro go? Did he get found out? People were talking about him. Did he do the commission piece? Did he give it to the lady, or did he just take her $200? Or
ordinary people carry on and live their lives and do their best to make their spaces beautiful with art, music, and movement. The world drifts along as in a Zen dream, and that's where the film's own artistry lies.
In a Zen dream, yes.
There's a warmth and inclusiveness to Wild Style that makes you want to step into this universe. It would have been easy, probably far more commercial, for Ahern and Brathwaite to turn this into one of those beaten-down protagonist makes good pictures and show Ray rising above his milieu using his talents to leave this urban hellscape behind.
Ooh,
but their
urban hellscape.
But their communitarian ethos flies against that idea. Yes, Ray is unique, and yes, he's a bit of a loner, but he's not looking for a ticket out. He's looking to express himself, and so too is everyone else. When Astor's journalist, arriving in the neighborhood for the first time, tells a large group of curious kids that have gathered around her that she's looking for a graffiti artist, they respond cheerfully, "We're all graffiti artists."
And then they push her car because it broke down.
The rapping, the dancing, the writing, the scratching, it all seems to exist in this weird egalitarian continuum. The guys with the mics rhyme not from a proscenium, but from amongst the crowd. Though the film's climactic performance, happening as it does on a massive stage, strikes a poetic and prophetic note about the fact that all these art forms are about to explode. This is a world where anything seems possible, which seems quite bracing given the way that the inner city, particularly in New York, was depicted in the early 1980s. Ahern is not the kind of polished film-savvy director who does camera tricks or tries to make a $5 budget look like a $5 million one. His close-ups are a little too close, and his screen direction is sometimes a mess, but that also lends the picture an irresistible immediacy and authenticity. It feels like something that has emerged from this world, shot on the fly and full of stolen moments. To me, it's like the early hip-hop version of the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, you were meant to think that it was a documentary, but it was a real movie. No, it wasn't.
But it is this very aesthetic approach that makes the film so compelling and unique. In one of Wild Style's most remarkable scenes, the Cold Crush Brothers and the Fantastic Freaks, two rival crews, engage in a rap battle, which then extends to a pickup basketball game.
Of course.
With members confronting each other with rhymes while dribbling, shooting, and passing. If the scene were more polished, it would look ridiculous, like a tacky attempt to update West Side Story.
Exactly.
But Ahern's rough-edged, handheld, off-the-cuff style sells us the paradox. The beef is simultaneously huge and no big deal at all. An impromptu ritual.
But they stepped up like it was serious, and then it was all right.
Wild Style is credited as the first hip-hop movie, but it did not introduce rap or hip-hop culture, or even the notion that graffiti could be art. There had already been major gallery shows featuring graffiti artists by 1981, and by the time Wild Style was released in late 83, bigger productions capitalizing on rap and the breakdancing craze were already underway. Both Beat Street and Breakin' both came out in 84. Wild Style arrived early, but it wasn't so much ahead of the curve as simply well-placed to ride it. Plus, Ahern was smart enough to use guerrilla tactics to promote his feature, paying high school kids to distribute flyers at their schools. When it opened on 47th Street, just steps away from the grindhouses that showed the Bruce Lee flicks that Ahern loved so much, Wild Style was, for a while, the second highest grossing release in New York City, behind terms of endearment. It arguably
Got it.
arguably it had a greater impact abroad. The film actually premiered in Japan before it opened in New York, and the cast and crew were treated like rock stars on a tour of the country. After German TV broadcasted in the 1980s, Wild Style became a phenomenon among German youth on both sides of the Berlin Wall, in particular the children of Turkish immigrants. Years later, when the cast and crew reunited for a tour of Germany, they proudly pointed out that sections of the wall had been artfully enhanced with Wild Style graffiti.
Artfully enhanced. I like
Something
that.
similar happened in the United Kingdom and across Scandinavia. One savvy Caribbean entrepreneur reportedly bought a 35mm print of the film and traveled around the islands by boat, screening it to adoring crowds. Whether broadcast or bootlegged, Wild Style serves as an introduction for kids around the world to a thriving, dynamic, newfound American counterculture. And it continued to be kind of a cult movie for decades. Not so much like Rocky Horror Picture Show, but
Also a cult film.
its legacy kept alive through references and samples by the likes of Nas, Beastie Boys, Cypress Hill, and others. After a restoration and re-release in 2007, the film would become better known and more widely available. Today, of course, it can be enjoyed partly as a nostalgia trip, a time capsule of a pivotal period in New York and hip-hop history, right before everything went stratospheric. But that would be, perhaps, to undersell what makes it so special. Ahern and Brathwaite's decision to downplay the drama and to focus on an honest ground-level portrait of this world and how it saw itself means that Wild Style hasn't really dated. It just feels as fresh today as it did back then, which really isn't saying much. A vital look at what spurs us to create and dream. And you can watch Wild Style for free on Tubi or Crackle, or with
I think we watched it on Tubi.
I believe we did, or with a subscription to Canopy, and it's available to rent on Prime Video, iTunes, and Google Play.
Yeah, so if you want to pay for it, you got locations to go. If you want to watch it for free with commercials, you got other places to go.
Too.
Yep.
Yes. Our next article you have entitled Pee on You. And it doesn't have anything to do with R. Kelly, believe it or not.
I may have drawn inspiration from it. You never know.
It may have. But it does have our favorite whack job who just go away. That's all I can say at this point is just go away.
I will say he is he's doing okay, not doing. I don't know exactly what I never know what he's doing. He has some really good ideas right now. And I don't know if it's because he's on his medication. I don't know if it's a moment of lucidity. I don't know. But we'll get to it later. I'm sure we'll touch on it in this article, but we'll get to it later on.
I'm sure.
Where he's actually making some good points in his lunatic haze. You know, he's coming out of it every once in a while.
Yeah. Anyway, this comes to us from the Daily Mail, the United K version, dailymail.co.uk.
We got to get something for Nipsey.
Pass. Urinates on Grammy, declares Black Masters Matter, and says he, quote, can't be muted or canceled after comparing the music industry to a slave ship and vowing not to release songs until he's freed from Universal and Sony contracts.
I believe that has worked in the past.
Yeah, but I don't
for the little purple guy.
Mm-hmm. Pass has shared shocking footage of himself urinating on a Grammy Award as he goes into battle against labels Universal and Sony to try and retrieve the rights to his own music. The difference is the little purple guy, all he did was just change his name to a symbol, and he never pissed on anything.
Well, no, but he did refuse to do what he was contracted to do until he obtained the rights to his masters.
The rapper, who is 43 years old, posted the vision to his Twitter feed on Wednesday afternoon, which showed one of his 21 Grammys placed inside of a toilet bowl. Trust me, I won't stop, West captioned the clip, which referred to his current bid to gain ownership of his masters, otherwise known as the copyright, to his original songs. It came amid a Twitter rant that lasted several hours, during which he violated the social media site's code of conduct.
By peeing?
No, after he shared the personal contact details of a magazine editor that he called a white supremacist.
I would do the same.
If any of my fans want to call a white supremacist, this is the editor of Forbes, West wrote above the phone number of the publication's editor, Randall Lane. West has repeatedly hit out at the magazine in the past for failing to label him as a billionaire. Twitter took 30 minutes to hide the tweet with Lane's details, which has now been deleted. In a separate tweet, the star also joked that his wife, Kim Larjassian, would represent him in legal proceedings.
See, I said he gets some good ideas, moments of lucidity amongst the lunacy.
Larjassian last year revealed that she was starting a 4-year law apprenticeship under the supervision of attorneys Aaron Haney and Jessica Jackson. However, the reality star has not yet commented on her husband's latest antics. Larjassian took 24 hours off Facebook and Instagram to protest the spread of hate, propaganda, and misinformation on the social networks.
By taking one day off.
Yeah, the misinformation, you mean all the pictures that you yourself have photoshopped? Fuck out of here with that. She's such a...
Yeah. I saw the messages come through, take a day off and protest, blah, 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 because that one day that everybody stops doing it, they're going to fix everything, and then we can go back the next day. Yeah, eat a bag of assholes.
That's how this whole thing works,
It is.
Pass's current battle with his labels began on Monday when he attacked the structure of the music industry, declaring that musicians actually had little to no power because record labels owned all of their work, which has been the way it's gone for years.
Right.
He took aim at his labels Universal and Sony and vowed not to release any new music until he was freed from his contracts with them. In a stinging tweet on Tuesday, Pass also savaged the strict contracts that black NBA players were under and stated the music industry and the NBA are modern-day slave ships. I'm the new Moses. Taking to Twitter again on Wednesday morning, the rapper repeated the same sentiment, claiming there is no NBA or music industry without black people. Fair contracts matter. Ownership matters. Pass also shared the screenshots of a private contract he signed with Universal back in 2011, just minutes after he tweeted, I feel so humbled and blessed that God has put me in a strong enough position to do this. Everyone keep praying. It's working. I am on my knees this morning.
Okay. You sure that wasn't from Kim?
He then appeared to address black artists directly and claimed that there needed to be an overhaul in the business. We've gotten comfortable with not having what we deserve. They, meaning... And there's a whole list of tweets that he... Yeah,
no need to get into those. But I agree with him, though. I believe artists should own their own stuff. I understand. You come in, just like when you come in under a rookie contract, when you sign, it's, okay, I need to do whatever this contract says, basically, in order to get the contract. So I'm happy to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But that should never be... The industry, as it were, should never be in a position to own something that they did not create.
No, but
sure, they should profit more off of it in the beginning, make up all the money that you're putting into this person. Sure, I get that. But you should never own more than them.
They are a business.
Yes.
They need to make their profit too.
Yeah.
So I can understand that.
I'm totally into that. And I even would say that they should get more on the front end of your contract. And then, as you stay on longer, it should sliding scale. You should own more later on. They're going to put a whole bunch of money into you to make you somebody. They need to get paid. I totally get that. But there's no way if you and I create this show and then we get picked up by some network, they should never own what we do.
Well, we would never sign a contract that
we would not, but people,
that's part of the problem.
Yes. People need to do that in order to get it. Not so much now because there's so many independents out there, but back then, which is why like all the people on Sugar Hill have no money. It's in order to get in, you need to agree to some things that you may not want to, because otherwise you're not getting in.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand it,
Nice
but I don't
message
agree
from,
with it.
Darren LaRoe, who's watching us. Darren's a hockey player, and
Well, I
Darren is a
assumed.
relatively new father. His little one's not so little anymore. Yeah, I miss you out on the ice too, brother. I can't wait until we can start playing again. So, but John has a great idea.
He does.
I like that. Make it like a rookie contract, 3 years, and then you're a free agent. Rights revert to the artist. The only problem is, sports do this restricted free agency before they do unrestricted free agency.
Right.
So, if they could do it that way, I mean, people are shitting all over professional sports right now for a myriad of reasons.
Yeah.
But I think out of all the sports, I think the NHL does it probably best when it comes to the contract structure, because that's what they do. You sign your entry-level deal. It goes for a couple of years, 2-3 years. And then you are what they call a restricted free agent, which means, yes, you can negotiate with
Shop
other
around,
teams.
yeah.
But if you sign with another team, they get serious compensation back for you.
Right.
Because they're losing out on your potential.
Your earnings for them. Yeah.
Now, it'd be different too if they're, I don't see how this could ever happen, but do you consider these artists like draft choices?
Well, kind of.
I don't,
But it's so. No, you can't, because if you were to sign with a record company tomorrow, and then I signed the day after, it doesn't mean that one of us is better than the other one or should be ranked higher. It just happened to be the day that we ran into them.
Yeah, it could just mean that our lawyer acted faster than the other ones,
Right.
But that being said,
like I said, they need to get paid.
But everybody, I don't think they're like draft choice. I think they're more like all free agents, and they're all trying to cut the best deal they can. But to me, I've never understood when football players specifically do this. Basketball players, to a certain extent too, have legitimate signed contracts, legal binding signed contracts, and then say, I don't want to live up to it. I'm going to hold out. I want to renegotiate.
Barry Sanders, one of the greatest, if not the greatest running back in our time, did exactly that, to the point where he retired rather than continue to play for the Lions. That they would not let him out of the I wouldn't either. He was the greatest.
Right.
And he said no. So if he were ever to return to the game, he's a Detroit Lion.
His rights. Yeah.
Yeah.
They would have to, somebody would have to deal for his rights. Although I'm not sure how long that lasts, because Ilya Kovalchuk did that in the NHL. And, he signed this big, long, ridiculous contract with the Devils, and then said, I don't want to play anymore, and went over to Russia for 3 years. Then wanted to come back and play in the NHL. And the reason he did that was to give the Devils like salary cap relief, because he was making a ridiculous amount of money.
Right.
By retiring, it took a lot of his money off the cap.
Off the table. Yeah.
So much so that they changed the rules on how contracts were structured because of this. But after a certain number of years, he decided he wanted to come back. And as much as he was a Devil when he retired, somehow his rights expired with them. They didn't own them anymore. So he was a free agent when he came back. And I don't know what the statute of limitations is on that sort of thing, but
No, I just know that he left during a contract because he did not want to play for the crappy Lions anymore. And they said, you're not going anywhere. So that was his only option, was to quit.
I'm taking my ball and going home. And and to his credit, he's never made a peep about coming back.
No.
So, and I agree with you. Best running back I ever saw.
Yeah.
And I saw Walter Payton before he retired.
I did too, yeah.
But Barry
Sanders was a monster.
Yeah, he was a beast. All right, next article. This one I sent you originally.
Yes.
And holy crap, is this crazy? Because now everybody's picking up on it.
Well, of course.
Came to us from the New York Post. The page.
This is not something that was going to be hidden. This was going to be news.
Page 6 is the social component of the New York Post.
Yes. Isn't
Doc-
really all of the post the social portion of the post.
No. Again,
The
without
post
going
is
into it
a
all,
step above the Inquirer.
John Mulaney, the comic, says that the New York
Yes.
Post is like if someone read the news from another paper and then just tried to give you the highlights.
Yes.
So,
But it looks pretty.
yeah, because
They did have my favorite sports section.
The sports section's okay. I
haven't looked at it in 25 years, but I'm saying.
Yeah, it's the gossip and entertainment page.
Yeah.
But this is not gossip because this is fucking legal. Dr. Dre's estranged wife.
Allegedly.
You have entitled this one, Say My Name, Say My Name. Dr. Dre's estranged wife, Nicole Young, files a bombshell lawsuit against him. Now listen to what this crazy woman is claiming.
And it's going to be even better if what she claims is true.
What is in a name? Plenty if you're a famous rap mogul.
Yes.
Dr. Dre, no accent, estranged wife Nicole Young is suing the Beats impresario in a California court, claiming that she co-owns the trademark to his name, as well as his landmark album, The Chronic. She further alleges in court papers that Dre, quote, secretly, end quote, transferred the valuable trademarks to a holding company after she claims he kicked her out of their home earlier this year. Young is being repped in the case by LA Power attorney Brian J. Friedman, whose clients have included Gabrielle Union and Megyn Kelly in their disputes with NBC, which neither one of them won.
But that's what he was known for.
In court documents, Nicole's team alleges that Dre was, quote, caught secretly transferring valuable trademarks he owned with his wife to a newly created asset holding company that he created and controlled after he expelled his wife from their home and before he threatened to file divorce. The papers, exclusively obtained by Page Six, allege that 2 days after the threat, Nicole had no choice and initiated divorce proceedings. Andre's transparent and reprehensible scheme to transfer these assets away without Nicole's knowledge or consent so he could retain more for himself in a divorce from his wife of 24 years and the mother of his 3 children is an epic failure and reveals the true nature of his character or lack thereof.
Does it? Or does it just mean this crazy bitch got to go and she's going to try to take all my shit? I better hide something.
That's basically what
That's.
it means.
Yeah, I don't start no hashtag stand with Dre or nothing. I don't know what the story, but
Dude,
this is kind of a standard operating procedure for wealthy people.
I'm not saying this is what I think should happen.
We can say what we think all we want.
She gonna get Lacey Peterson.
It's highly possible.
She gonna get Lacey Peterson.
Yep,
Page
I'm sure
Six
it'll be the
previous-
Clintons' fault.
Page Six previously reported that Dre, born Andre Young, and Nicole are battling over a prenup, and that Nicole has asked for $2 million per month in spousal support after outlining the couple's lavish lifestyle in court docs.
That you can ask for that kind of money when your husband is a noted billionaire.
She now alleges in the latest suit after Andre
Allegedly.
forced Nicole out of their family home on or about April 2, 2020. Happy April Fool's, bitch.
Yeah.
He quickly plotted to secretly transfer their assets to deny Nicole her equal and fair share, and that these valuable trademarks were filed during Andre's years married to Nicole, which coincided with Andre's years of rising success in the music industry. They've been married how long?
24.
How old is Straight Outta Compton?
That's well before his rise to fame as Dre, though.
Well, when did The Chronic originally come out? 91?
90. Might have been 91, 92. Yeah.
That's when he started to rise.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Looking at 96.
That's still 30 years. They have not been married for 30 years.
They have not.
They have been married for
She said 24.
24. So that's 6
I
years
listen.
of his earning power. I couldn't remember if it was 24 or 27, but it's 6 years of his earning power that she had fuck all to do with.
Assuming that she was not with him. It doesn't fall under it's California. You never know.
I don't know if that's a community
That common
property
law
state
stuff,
or- yeah. California's fucking weird, man. California
It is.
It's the fucking granola state, man. Fruits,
Live
nuts, and
Nation,
flakes out
get back
there.
to work.
Anyway, these valuable trademarks filed during Andre's years married to Nicole, which again coincided with Andre's years of rising success in the music industry. The trademarks are presumed to be community property.
There you go. Like Gail just said, 50-50.
Pursuant to California Family Code Section 760. Because they were married, Nicole and Andre owned the trademarks jointly from the date of their first filing in 1997 and through 2013 by virtue of being community property owners. The filing alleges that Andre now purports to own the trademarks in full. Nicole's team wants the trademarks to be put in a trust, and she's suing for damages and legal fees. She previously also asked a court for $5 million in legal fees to fight her divorce case, indicating it will be an epically costly case.
John Henderson, we learned that from Eddie Murphy too. And Umfufu.
Hi, Eddie. I want to talk to you. Meantime, Dre's lawyers have previously alleged that Young has refused to turn over his belongings from the Malibu home where she's staying, including his golf clubs, a motorcycle, and a registered handgun. She's, oddly enough, fired back in court papers that with his near $1 billion worth, he can afford replacements.
And he can keep the unregistered ones.
Reps for Dre did not immediately comment. He is being repped in his divorce by celebrity power lawyer Laura Wasser.
Johnny Cochran.
Oh. So, I'm telling you, man, she's going to get Lacey Peterson. She's going to end up in a fucking ditch.
If a 8-foot Wookiee lives on a planet, what about the 2-foot Ewoks?
Our next article comes to us from Heavy.com.
Yes, we're not going to Malibu to stay.
No. Yo Holmes to Bel Air.
Indeed.
Fresh Prince of Bel Air mansion rents a wing for $30 a night. That's actually very reasonable.
It is. That's like there's the one remaining Blockbuster in the country.
Mm-hmm.
It's in some weird little town. I don't know where it is right now. And they rent it out
as an Airbnb.
Yeah, it's like $6 a night, but you have to be a local. They won't rent it out to anybody outside of the town.
Right. Want to live like a millionaire for only $30 a night while immersed in old school hip hop nostalgia? Who doesn't?
Go move into Dre's house. He's got room.
And Will Smith is just the person to make it happen. In honor of the 30th anniversary of the start of Smith's hit sitcom, The Fresh Prince of Bel Air, Smith made arrangements with the owner of the mansion to open up a wing of the home to 2 guests at a time for one-night stays, according to the New York Post. According to a post on Airbnb that says it's written by Smith, it's your crib for the night, so feel free to act like you own the place. My wing of the mansion includes my bedroom, great for naps, a full bathroom, great for spitting bars in the shower, pool area, great for dips, an outdoor lounge in the dining room, great for eating, obviously, and you got to do it like my guy DJ Jazzy Jeff, so don't forget your sunglasses. Perks include dinner on silver platters, playing basketball in the bedroom, and the use of turntables to spin throwback classics.
That's what I'm talking about.
According to the Airbnb ad, we just mentioned, it says, perks also include wearing clothes from Smith's fake closet that mimic his character's look on the show, a combo of athletic wear and preppy plaids hanging out poolside on luxurious lounge chairs, lacing up a fresh pair of Jordans before shooting some b-ball in the bedroom. You read that right. In the bedroom.
In the bedroom.
And spinning throwback classics all night on turntables just like Jazzy Jeff's. And since there won't be access to a kitchen, meals will be provided and served on silver platters. The ad also says they're following all the COVID-19 mitigation suggestions, including adhering to Airbnb's enhanced cleaning protocol.
Does Jeffrey bring me the meals on the silver platters?
And then you can throw them out the door.
No, that's Jazzy Jeff. That's Jazz on the show.
Oh,
Jeffrey
yes.
was Jeffrey was the butler.
Jeffrey the butler? No,
yes.
I don't believe they've not mentioned Jeffrey at all.
Damn.
So. requiring mask wearing upon arrival and keeping the experience private. Guests will have the wing and other included amenities all to themselves. That's why you should make sure you go with your most fun person, because no other guests are allowed, and definitely no parties.
Uncle Phil
The
will be
house
mad.
is actually in Brentwood, not Bel Air, but Smith says the mansion helped launch his career.
That's true.
Smith,
His acting career, if nothing else.
Smith nor any of the other cast will be there to greet guests, but they can
Damn.
expect to get a virtual welcome from DJ Jazzy Jeff.
That's kind of awesome.
The home, which was built in 1937, was only used for exterior shots, according to Drone World, who posted a video of an aerial view of the mansion on YouTube. They also report that it was during the show's 6-season run that Smith met his longtime wife and entangled person, Jada Pinkett. Another fun fact, the mansion isn't actually in Bel Air. Like we said, it's in Brentwood.
Right.
A not so fun fact, all the dates to rent the wing of the mansion are already booked.
Brentwood. Isn't that where OJ?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So if you see
A
a
great
white
man
Bronco
once said,
running around,
okay, player.
you see a white Bronco running around,
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
don't turn on the AC. Let's just
Yeah, nice.
no Al Cowlings in there. Our next
Cato.
article,
Let's get a Cato Kalin reference because there's never any of those anymore.
Hip Hop Box Office is our next article. Comes to
Yeah.
us from the Hollywood Reporter, which makes perfect sense.
Not the Brentwood Reporter.
And you have entitled it Hip Hop Box Office.
Well,
Empire
yes.
writers land supernatural hip hop drama at HBO.
I like the
Thirst.
sound of this whole thing.
Thirst is the name of it and comes from Macro Television Studios and writers Leia Benavides Rodriguez and Carlito Rodriguez. HBO has landed a drama project from a pair of former Empire writers that combines hip hop and the supernatural.
She has that one of those names like the reporter from Married with Children. Which I cannot remember her entire name, but I will find it during the break and I will play the sound of it.
I know you will. The premium cable outlet is developing Thirst from writers and showrunners Leia Benavides Rodriguez and Carlito Rodriguez. The drama also counts among its executive producers Malcolm Spellman and Nichelle Tramble Spellman, who previously worked on HBO's scrapped Confederate, alongside Game of Thrones' David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. The show comes from Macro Television Studios and is based on an original concept by former VH1 creative director Kevin Jordan, who has a first look deal with the indie studio.
Hold on. Miranda Veracruz de la Hoya Cardinal. That was her name. And I'm going to see if I can play it because I'm going to need to hear it.
And Shooky asked why I sounded like Smokey from Friday when I said their names.
Past week, there have been
Ah.
two. Past week,
Back it up.
This
Back it up.
Back it up.
flood and a mass murder. Unfortunately, none of them here at Gary's Shoes, where I, Miranda Veracruz de la Hoya Cardinal.
Okay, that's all I needed to hear.
That's funny. Thirst tells the story.
I left field every once in a while. It just happens. Sorry.
Thirst tells the story of a brilliant but cocky Atlanta rapper who thinks he's found his way to stardom when he links up with hip-hop's hottest group, but has no idea they're hiding a terrifying secret. They are a family of vampires with roots going back centuries. Blending a vibrant journey through the world of music with a sweeping new vampire mythology, the show explores the price of fame and legacy in America and asks the eternal question: who would you become if you could live forever? Music has been integral to both of our lives, and Thirst is the perfect opportunity to blend genres while exploring the intersection of fame, culture, and what it means to be American, said Benavides Rodriguez and Rodriguez.
Cardinal.
We're excited to bring it to life with Macro Television Studios and the rest of our dope team, and thrilled it has found its home at HBO. Benavides Rodriguez and Rodriguez will executive produce with Ben Watkins for Blue Monday Productions.
Not Ben Watson.
No. Spellman and Tramble Spellman. He might be one of the few who didn't get hurt this weekend.
Yeah, no, right.
Spellman and Tramble Spellman for the 51. Jordan and Charles D. King and Marta Fernandez for Macro. Greta Fuentes of Macro will oversee the project with Fernandez. Benavides Rodriguez is
Cut him
repped
out.
by Industry Entertainment and Del Shaw. Rodriguez is repped by Intellectual Property Group and Del Shaw, and Jordan is with CAA. And yes, I do. I feel like the the weather people who don't look it, but then go crazy on the Latin pronunciation.
That is the one thing that I hate most about television is when people who look like me decide to pronounce Cuba as Cuba because I am announcing the weather there.
Cuba.
Yes, the only time I say Cuba is when I'm talking about Gooding Jr.
And I don't even talk about him anymore.
Not so much.
Our last article, hip hop headline: Murder for Masters.
She wrote. Oh. And I'm
Where's Angela
I'm-
Lansbury when you need it?
I'm going down the road with him on this one. 'Cause
Pass.
I'm a believe it.
Pass rants on Michael Jackson, Prince, and theories on Masters ownership. Pass is going to bat for artists around the world claiming that he is the, quote, only person, end quote, who can speak on the issue of Masters ownership without being canceled.
He's even going to help your girl, Taylor, get her masters back from Scooter. That's in his plan. I guess that's for him to make up for stomping on her during the award ceremony, whatever.
And mentioning her name in the song and just...
Yeah. So he's going after Scooter to
Here's an idea. Don't sign the fucking contract if you don't want to live up to it.
well, no, he bought them.
Oh, I know Scooter did, because Scooter's
Yeah.
a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Some artists have been lucky enough to buy back their masters, including Yo Gotti, Sierra, Jay-Z, Frank Ocean, Rihanna, and more. The vast majority...
Taylor Dane.
No, not
Go ahead.
Taylor Dane. The vast majority of working recording artists who are signed to a major label do not own their music, though, and that's incredibly troubling.
It is.
In recent days, Pass has made it his mission to fight for those people since he's included in the bunch, with his claims this week that he will no longer be releasing music until he's out of his lifelong deal with Sony, ATV, and Universal. The Jesus is King artist started reaching out to the billionaires behind the record companies to pitch a new system that birthed companies like Airbnb and more, which would make contracts more transparent. During his, what some people call Twitter storm, HNHH calls stream of consciousness,
Yeah, see, I'm with them.
which continued into the morning, Kanye Pass said that he's the only person that can speak on such a topic and actually command change because he has made billions of dollars outside of music.
Is that what they were calling him peeing on the Grammy? His stream of consciousness?
He also insinuated that was funny. He
Thank you.
also insinuated that Michael Jackson and Prince were both killed because they had ownership of their masters.
I believe it.
I didn't think Michael Jackson owned his masters. Yes,
and the
he
Beatles.
does, and he owns the Beatles. That's
Yeah.
right. But I did know Prince owned his because he was very secretive about it.
Well, yeah. Prince owned everything.
The artist deserves to own our masters. Artists are starving without tours. I'm going to go get our masters for all artists. Pray for me, wrote Pass in one of his tweets before making the suggestion about MJ and Prince. Let's get it, big bro. You and Michael pass so we can live, he posted with a picture of Prince. He went on to clarify how artists have no control of their actual music after signing a deal, saying, when you sign a music deal, you sign away your rights. Without the masters, you can't do anything with your own music. Someone else controls where it's played and when it's played. Artists have nothing except the fame, touring, and merch.
Yep.
Which, this morning, he woke up early to continue his thoughts. We've gotten comfortable with not having what we deserve. They allow us to have a little money from touring, get some gold chains, some alcohol, some girls, and fake numbers that feed our egos. And we mentioned this one before.
Right. Yep.
We're supporting other people's kids. We could spend our whole life in the music industry, but our kids got to go work for another company when they grow up. I'm the only person who can speak on this because I made multi-billions outside of music. No musicians make billions inside of music. I'm going to change this. I know a lot of musicians are not allowed to say anything, but I can't be muted or canceled, so I'm going to say everything as always.
Because I'm going to be president.
He's not going to be president. Finally, he mentioned Nick Cannon, who was recently canceled over anti-Semitic comments he made on his podcast, and the NBA, who has been operating inside of a bubble in Orlando.
Professor Griff made the comments. Nick Cannon just agreed with him.
He said, we sat back and watched Nick Cannon get canceled. We got to play ball in a bubble with Black Lives Matter on our backs. Brothers, let's stand together for real. There's no NBA or music industry without black people. Fair contracts matter. Ownership matters. People say it's enough and I got my point across. The point isn't across until we cross the point. We used to diss Michael Jackson. The media made us call him crazy, and then they killed him. The media tries to kill our heroes one at a time. Universal won't tell me what my masters cost because they know I can afford to buy them.
See, that's the thing. That's how Scooter came in and scooped up stuff because he had the money, and they said, "Oh, okay, we want this much," and he went, "Okay," and they went, "Shit." So you tell Pass it costs this much, and he comes and throws the money at you. Then you go, "Shit."
He says, "My children will own my masters, not your children, my children." Sony, you not off the hook either. One battle at a time. So,
yeah, when he's lucid, he's on. But when he's off a whole lot more than he's on anymore.
he is, and I can understand where he's coming from, but like I said, I don't know where they have much legal recourse. They signed
what did he say?
contracts.
He signed a lifetime contract?
Why would you
What
do
kind of
that?
crazy shit is that?
Why would you do that?
Because he's a lunatic. But again,
Because he had shitty representation back then.
Probably because he believes, okay, it says lifetime, but that's not real. I'll renegotiate later on and blah, blah, blah. And now they said, no, dude, life.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of our fucking bottom line.
Yeah, and Taylor Dane.
Taylor Dane. Love will lead you back.
It's just for John. Why don't you take us to a break while we play this little bit of Taylor Dane?
I guess there's no better way to go to a break than by having Taylor Dane play in the background.
She'll tell it to your heart.
She will. And then love will lead you back.
This is true.
We're going to take our first break, and we're going to come back with Woo News right after this on Mr. Throwback Thursday, episode 347. That's fucking funny.
Take me up, yo.
I actually liked Taylor Dane when I was growing up.
How do you not? Let's see what we got for Woo. I don't even know if I got Woo from last week. That's what it was.
Yes.
I was like, I didn't do any Woo news this week. Oh, yeah, I just
All
carried
the
last
woo
week's over.
That is the woo across the nation. So.
Yes. And since I have put down this entire cup of coffee, except for a mouthful and a cold brew and a half, I'm going to have to take a quick break prior to the start of Woo News. So if you wouldn't mind entertaining the posse.
I don't know how entertaining I am, but I can try.
You do all right.
Have my moments, I guess.
Yeah. I forgot I got to pull up there.
Holy shit, dude. A friend of mine is selling a 1974 Opel.
Is it a GT?
I can't tell. 1.9 fuel injection, excellent condition, $10,500. It looks in pretty good freaking shape, dude.
You should get it.
I don't have that kind of money.
I'll be right back.
It's only got 20,000 miles on it.
That's because they don't go very far before they die or explode. Do what John says. I'll be right back.
Okay. Let me see what John said. I'm looking at this whole dance for us, clown. Nice. Hey, to everybody out there, I'm trying to work out the kinks on it. I'm going to probably have my daughter help me. We started the Bill Reads Lyrics Instagram page last week. Pretty soon, if all goes well, Bill Reads Lyrics is also going to be a TikTok page. So we got to get in on these things while they're still going. And, me being 50 now, I don't understand TikTok at all. So, so she's going to help me. But we're going to have a Bill Reads Lyrics TikTok page, which may also be where I do the Reads children's books too, that I did that one time. Because I still have the Reach Around Books link. I only did one of them and posted it, so I have to come across the other ones. But they're a lot of fun. So we shall see how that works out. When we come back, we've got I think 3 pieces of Woo news, and then we'll go into our one and done, our record of the week. And TikTok, I guess, if you have it on your phone already, they will not take it away from you. The deal was if they didn't find a buyer, which I think they made a deal with Oracle to have the United States ownership of it. But if that fell through, then if you had it already, then you could keep it, but you can't have any more downloads of the app. So that's what TikTok stands. But I think they made a deal. I think everything is safe on that.
What are you talking about? The new channel? Or
Yes, the
new
possibility
account?
of the TikTok being Bill Reed's lyrics as well.
yes.
I'm going to have Emily help me on that.
Yes. I will send you all the edited footage, but you need
'Cause-
a young person to make it happen.
Because the IT department doesn't know anything about TikTok either. Because we're old. I mean, she knows what it is. She knows it exists. I don't think she's ever used it.
That's the way I am. I know that it's there.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is or how it
I've
works.
seen videos on it. And I have to say, as we were talking, to those who saw the BRL IG
IG.
earlier tonight, did I retweet it or did I just send it to you? I think I just sent it to you.
What's that?
The girl doing the impressions.
Yes. You just sent it to me.
I'm going to retweet that. Follow me at...
She's everywhere now.
I'm sure she is. This girl does 12 impressions as she's doing the lyrics of WAP. And she does everything from... She starts as Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton,
It's
yep.
hysterical. I think... I'm trying to remember the order. It was Dolly, then Adele, and then Gwen Stefani. And then...
Two people that I knew the names, but I'd never heard, like Billie Eilish, but there was somebody before Billie Eilish. Somebody with an E. Ellen.
Ellie
okay.
Goulding, yes.
And then
who I
Billie
like, by the
Eilish.
way. I don't know who Ellen Page is. Isn't she an actress?
Ellen Page, yes.
She was from Juno, right?
Yes. And she's also number 7 in the Umbrella Academy.
I don't know what that is.
You need to investigate that. That's Netflix.
Okay.
That's your homework.
Yeah, like I have time to watch anything on Netflix. I skimmed through Cobra Kai while Janelle was watching it.
That's a good one.
That was ridiculous, dude. That was as cheesy as the worst pizzas I've ever eaten.
So was the Karate Kid.
Yeah.
So it's in the same vein. It's the continuity.
Now, Emily just started watching Ratched.
I haven't started that yet. I have it in the queue.
So
Has she seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
she just watched it this week
Okay.
for the first time. Yep.
I was going to say, because you're going
She
to lose a lot if you
well,
don't.
no, she said Nurse Ratched seems a lot different than she did in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's
Well,
Nest.
yeah,
I'm thinking
it's
to myself,
supposed to be how she begins and how
yeah,
she
and
becomes who she is.
What she is, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't
Louise-
watched it yet, but
It's very interesting if you watch Cuckoo's Nest and you read the IMDb about it.
Mhm.
Louise Fletcher, who played Ratched, was very upset that people thought she was the villain of the movie. Because she didn't feel like she was the villain. She felt like McMurphy was the villain
Mhm.
and that Ratched was just trying to maintain.
to do her job, essentially. Yes.
But I guess it was such a stressful shoot that on the last day, everybody thought that Louise Fletcher was just like Nurse Ratched and didn't have a sense of humor. So I guess she stripped down to her underwear on the last day just to prove she had a sense of humor.
Nice.
Anyway,
Tasty.
Yeah. Never the villain in your own story, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So we ready for Woo?
Yeah, I just got to grab a drop, and then I'll be ready.
Ba ba drop, biddy-da-da, drop.
We are horrible people.
I wouldn't say that.
I am a horrible people.
I'm a Rudy Poot.
Yes. All right. How about? Well, since you had mentioned it, down here, we'll hit that button there. We'll bring this volume up here. We'll do this, and we'll do this. It's not the screen we're looking for. That's the screen we're looking for. And we'll bring in this drop. with a Shri. Woo's your mama?
What's up, what's up, what's up? It's Sweet LD of Oaktown's 357, and you're listening to Mr. Throwback Thursday. What's up?
The RZA.
Oh, that's the old one. We can't have that. Hold on.
No, I thought that.
How do we have that one up there?
I don't know.
No. Now you guys get to see intros and fillers. Woo News new. Let's try this again.
1 2 1 2. What's good, yo? This is Ghostface straight from Staten Island, New York. And right about now, it's time for Woo News with Jamie and Bill. I know what it is. Get it correct. Mr. Throwback Thursdays, Jamie and Bill. You know what I mean? On Woo News. That's what's going down right now. Y'all check this out. Exclusive. Peace.
The RZA, the Jizza, Raekwon, Master Killer, Inspector Deck, You God, Method Man, Ghostface Killer, and Old Dirty Bastard.
It's now time for Woo News with Mr. Throwback Thursday.
Shimmy on it.
Welcome back, everybody, to Mr. Throwback Thursday, episode 347. It is indeed time for Woo News.
Because we woo.
So we have 3 pieces of Woo News this week.
Mm-hmm.
And our first piece of Woo News you have titled Meth Verse. And no.
No.
NYSmusic.com brings us your first article of Woo News today.
Mm-hmm.
Why Method Man is the perfect adversary for Hawaiian Sophie in a versus battle. Since March, the coronavirus, global pandemic, and government shutdown had left many people in their homes stuck with nothing to do. That is until famed producers Hit Boy and Boy Wonder began the versus craze on Instagram Live, playing their most popular records back and forth. Timbaland and Swizz Beatz expanded on the phenomenon, elevating it by pairing older, iconic acts together to showcase their catalogs in a 20-song format.
It's verse for verse in a versus battle, John.
But this is versus.
Yes.
Because there's Z's in it. So versus battles.
Which is a third word that he didn't even account for.
Have helped keep the general public's minds off of the pandemic, and the success from each ensuing battle has fans creating dream matchups of who they want to see next and which artist they want paired with whom. One of the artists that many fans want to see step into the ring is Hawaiian Sophie. Widely considered as one of, if not the greatest rapper ever, not by us.
No, but by people.
Conversations surrounding a potential Hove battle have people asking 2 questions. Given his immense stature, would he actually do a versus battle? Now they spelled it with an S and a Z. And who exactly would be his opponent? The first names that have been tossed around are his longtime rival Nas and Lil Wayne. Nas and Hawaiian Sophie's rivalry is well documented, dates back to the late 90s. Their problems began when Nas turned Hove down for a feature on Hawaiian Sophie's song Dead Presidents off of the Reasonable Doubt LP because Nas's voice was sampled for the record. With that, animosity began to build as both rappers exchanged shots for years throughout multiple songs until the rivalry met its climax in 2001. First came Hawaiian Sophie's Takeover from his Blueprint album, while Nas replied a few months later with Ether. Their battle marked Nas to hip-hop superiority, as well as the first real loss by Hawaiian Sophie. It only makes sense that their convoluted history has fans yearning for a versus battle between the two. Now it's a Z and an S.
Not a versus, but a versus.
Versus.
Not a versus.
While Lil Wayne's case is centered on his dominance of the rap game during the mid to late 2000s, he has also had a healthy rivalry with Hawaiian Sophie, with the two sharing subliminal shots at each other on various records. While all these names are legendary in their own right, the best opponent for Hawaiian Sophie isn't Lil Wayne or Nas, but none other than...
Hey, T-H-O-D, man.
And no, certainly not Versailles.
There was a treaty that made it so that wasn't a thing anymore.
Making a name for himself in the early 90s as the face of the most gritty and diverse group in hip-hop history, Wu-Tang Clan, Meth has been a part of many classic albums in his own right. From his work with the Clan, his own solo albums, and guest features, he has enough in his arsenal to give Hawaiian Sophie his toughest matchup in a versus battle. Some will say that
Hey, T-H-O-D, man.
isn't a better choice to battle Hawaiian Sophie over Nas or Lil Wayne, and they would be wrong. Artists
wrong.
Wrong. Artists have egos and want to be matched up with other rappers whom they believe are of their stature. Hawaiian Sophie is at the pinnacle of hip-hop as a mogul, artist, and legend. He is constantly praised by hip-hop media outlets, who have been the main reason for him being mentioned as the GOAT in recent years.
Speaking of the versus battles and people on the same level, have you seen KRS-One on the Jopra show, which is Fat Joe's show?
No.
Joe, it's well known that LL Cool J is Joe's hip hop idol, and KRS is a close second.
Mm-hmm.
So he had Chris on, and he said, this whole versus thing is going on. What would you say? You and LL. Chris says, LL doesn't want this. Just straight up, like, I don't care what this format thing is you're talking about, because he didn't really know what the format was.
Yeah.
He goes, I don't care. He said, you take my first 2 albums, and that's 20 tracks right there. It'll beat him. It's like, that's what makes Chris.
It ain't bragging, motherfucker, if you back it up. That's right.
That's right.
Prior to his success as a businessman,
not a business man.
No. That title was reserved for the likes of Tupac Shakur, the Notorious B.I.G., Rakim, LL, and Nas. Hawaiian Sophie has always been conscientious of how people perceive him. In a 2019 Breakfast Club interview, rapper T.I. revealed that Sophie phoned him over comments he made where he stated that he believed Tupac Shakur was the greater MC. Sophie took some offense, which let the masses know that being considered the greatest is important to him. From his perspective, why go head-to-head with Nas again? Because of the extent of his radio catalog, he would be the heavy favorite, to the point that most would write off Nas, just as they did in 2001. While a versus battle is meant to be hit for hit, we've seen them deviate from this course and highlight quality records over just radio-friendly music. In this scenario, Nas could come with 20 of his best records and possibly sneak a win from Hawaiian Sophie. And if he does, then his status among mainstream media as the best rapper ever would come into question. Same thing can be said for Lil Wayne, only his win would come from his sizable radio catalog. If Sophie were to battle him and go hit for hit, there's a possibility that he would lose. Another overlooked aspect is that Nas, Lil Wayne, and Sophie have all laid-back personalities, which might not be the most entertaining to the public as other battles have been. This is where
Hey, T-H-O-D, man.
comes in. As the host of TBS has dropped the mic, his personality is effervescent and thus would serve as better entertainment to audiences, as he would surely provide great banter during a versus battle. Meth is not considered usually in the conversations for best rapper ever. He is thought of like Snoop Dogg, a dope rapper in their prime who have been featured on great songs throughout their careers. If Sophie were to be defeated by Method Man, it would be more of a look for Meth and his catalog than a diminishment of Hawaiian Sophie's. Meth is pulling from not only his catalog, but the entire Wu-Tang Clans, as well as guest verses he has done throughout his career, including all the shit he did with Red. If Sophie does defeat Meth, then he can say he took down Method Man, who was at one point viewed as a better MC than Sophie in the mid to late 90s. Anybody versus Jay Farrow would be good.
Well, and because Jay Farrow does a good Hawaiian Sophie.
He does indeed. While also claiming that his own catalog was able to overcome Wu-Tang Clan's discography, which would make his case as the greatest ever stronger. Now, how would their battle go? A battle between Meth and Hawaiian Sophie would be interesting because of their contrasting styles. Meth has a gritty, guttier style and has been known to rhyme over tougher beats.
Mm-hmm.
Sophie is smoother and rhymes on more polished-sounding production. Meth might probably start off with his first single off the 36 Chambers album, which is or Protect Your Neck, the track that put the entire Wu on the map. This would put Sophie in a bind, as a lot of the early Wu-Tang records are considered some of the best songs of all time.
And what's his first song? Hawaiian Sophie?
This would probably force him into playing a lot of his older, more acclaimed work, but he would most likely still play some of his newer songs like Story of OJ due to its popularity and current climate of the world with race relations and internal bickering amongst the black community. A major risk in this battle is sequencing. Would Sophie try and use his Billboard hits against Meth with songs like Deja Vu with his wife Beyonce? While one of his highest charting songs ever against Meth, the underdog in this battle, it would not be wise to play those kind of records.
Yeah, when you say it like
Meth could break out Mary J. Blige.
Oh yeah, when you say with his wife Beyonce, I just think John Lovitz is Tommy Flanagan with my wife Morgan Fairchild, whom I've slept with.
Method Man, bad rap, whining about being overlooked in his all-time ranking when people mention the greatest MCs. Verzuz battle, which is the only list who was all.
Hold on. You are all kinds of broken up and choppy.
Am I?
You were, yes. Like you went through that whole section there going, I was like, I don't hear any words there.
Well, then let's try that again.
Let's do that again with a Shree. Who's your mama?
Meth has gotten a bad rap for whining about being overlooked in his all-time ranking when people mention the greatest MCs. A Verzuz battle with Hawaiian Sophie not only brings new listeners to his already iconic catalog and also opens up discussions about where Meth should be ranked in the pantheon of hip-hop greats. This also works in Sophie's favor, as Meth has a legendary and mostly underrated discography. If Sophie were to lose, it would be shocking, but no one would question his superiority over Meth in the rap hierarchy. If Sophie wins, then he would reaffirm his status as the best rapper of all time. And they list the 20 songs that each would probably go with. Meth, they would say, of course, Method Man, then Protect Your Neck, then Cream, then Wu-Tang Ain't Nothing to Fuck With, The What, All I Need, the remix, there's your Mary J.
Yep.
Bring the Pain, Meth vs. Chef, Rawhide, Ice Cream, Shadow Boxing.
I'm surprised I haven't heard the Rockwilder yet.
How High, Got My Mind Made Up, Triumph, Reunited, Cash Still Rules, Scary Hours, 4321, Say What You
That
Want,
LL joint.
Milk the Cow, and ending with Rockwilder.
Okay. Make sure they didn't miss that.
Sophie would probably have Dead Presidents 2, and then Can I Live, What We Do, Heart of the City, Ain't No Love, Brooklyn's Finest, Intro, A Million and One Question, John,
hear that, John? Intro.
John just declared him the winner. Hard Knock Life, Money Cash Hose, Reservoir Dogs, Intro, again.
Money Cash Hose is just great because DMX is on it.
The Ruler's Back, Story of OJ, Otis, Song Cry, Renegade, Dirt Off Your Shoulder, 99 Problems, Big
Ice-T
Pimpin',
song.
You Don't Know, and Public Service Announcement.
I actually like that one.
Allow me to reintroduce
myself. My name is Ho. H to the OV.
See, John says Sophie definitely wins just because he's got two intros.
Two intros. That's automatic.
So it'd be interesting to see what would happen there. And I would tune
I don't
in for that.
ever see
I don't ever
Hawaiian
see Sophie doing
Sophie
it.
being involved. No.
No,
and I
it's just
think, and you said it,
nothing to win,
he's
everything
afraid.
to lose.
But he's afraid to not be the best. You know, it was in the story. So to take the chance to go up there, and there is no winner or loser in these things, except for, you know, when you're too drunk to do anything, or, you know, your sound system's jacked up. But it's all for hip hop, but to be perceived as losing, I don't think he could take that.
No, he's got way too much of an ego.
Yeah. And his wife, Beyonce.
Whom he slept with. Next article of Woo News, Soundtracked. Comes to us from Pitchfork.com. Wu-Tang's RZA imagines the soundtrack to his biopic in Pitchfork's new video series. RZA's such an interesting dude, man.
He is. I really want him on the show.
Pitchfork is excited to announce the launch of a new video series, Soundtracked. In this series, notable artists pick songs that match moments and memories from their lives, creating what would be the soundtrack to their imagined biopics. For each event, the artist goes into detail about how they were feeling at that moment and why the song they chose resonates.
See, I read an article the other day that would have made it into the show, except for it went too much like into an interview. Where it's the name of the article was RZA loves to talk about his art. And then like they went and talked to him about his art. I'm like, this is just a weird thing. You know, okay, he's a producer, he's a MC, he's a director, he's an actor. He loves to talk about his art. You know? Okay, cool. Why not?
This is my macaroni drawing.
Yeah. Why not?
The first episode of Soundtrack features RZA. RZA walks us through different milestones in his life, including the meteoric rise of the Wu-Tang Clan, the death of Old Dirty Bastard, his work composing scores for Jim Jarmusch and Quentin Tarantino, and more. RZA's musical selections include Eric B. and Rakim's Paid in Full, Isaac Hayes' Walk On By, David Bowie's Life on Mars, and many other classic tracks. And you can watch it by clicking on the show notes and clicking on the link to the article. Pretty fascinating stuff. And I love the fact that RZA knows all these artists.
Yeah.
And we don't get very many David Bowie and Isaac Hayes mentions on here.
No, well, it's like talking to DMC and him talking about AC/DC and Metallica. You know, people who love music love music.
Our last article of Woo News, Woo goes downtown.
Yes.
This comes to us from
Downtown.
allhiphop.com, once again coming through. Wu-Tang Clan signs a publishing deal with Downtown Music. RZA calls the company an ideal partner. Downtown Music Publishing has entered into a global publishing administration agreement with Robert Diggs, known as RZA, and Mitchell Diggs, Divine, Wu-Tang Productions. This means Downtown now represents the Wu-Tang Clan's interest in songs from the group's back catalog of albums. The deal also includes select works co-written or produced by individual Wu-Tang members for solo releases, affiliates, and other artists. Toastface Grilla, Jizza, Inspector Deck, Method Man, Old Dirty Bastard, Raekwon, RZA, and U-God are all represented under the agreement. See, RZA would never have signed one of them lifetime deals. He knows his shit.
No, but does this mean that they no longer make Bugs Bunny money?
I don't know.
Have they left Warner Brothers?
We would have to find out.
RZA, come on the show so I can ask you some questions.
We are excited to be partnering with Downtown and entrusting them to handle our historic back catalog, said RZA. Downtown's system is ideal for us. They have the global reach and capacity of a major while maintaining strong, highly personal relationships with their clients. Sounds like they're probably done with Warner.
Sounds like it. Now we don't have to worry about Bugs Bunny money.
He continued, their customized approach to clientele accompanied with their focus in areas like rights management and distribution makes Downtown an ideal partner for Wu-Tang Productions. The deal covers songs from Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers, Wu-Tang Forever, The W, and Iron Flag. Wu-Tang Clan isn't just one of hip-hop's most influential groups, it's an iconic institution in every sense of the word, with a legacy that extends well beyond the realm of music, said Justin Kalifowitz, CEO of Downtown Music Holdings, parent company of Downtown Music Publishing. As a New Yorker representing some of East Coast hip-hop's most revered legends, whose stories are so ingrained in the culture of our city, is a tremendous honor. In addition to being inspirational artists, RZA and Divine are extremely talented entrepreneurs, stated Bruce Lampkov, Downtown Senior Vice President of Global Business Development. He also added from what they accomplished with WooWare to RZA's work in film and television and numerous other endeavors, the group has showcased their shrewd business acumen time and time again. It's no wonder that their legacy has remained as strong today as it's ever been. We look forward to collaborating with them on many creative projects, and the possibilities are endless.
Yes.
Like I said, they would never get caught signing one of them stupid bad deals.
Yeah.
And even though he's included in the back deal, U-God, still not very good. That's not a story. That's just a fact.
Just how it is.
And ODB, even though he's included on the back catalog, is still currently not breathing.
It's just the way the story goes.
That is just the way the story goes. And the story always goes this way with this show. After Woo News, we go into a one and done.
Yeah.
And we had this one and done last week, but that got pushed to the side. Thank you once again, by the way, to Rocky Bucano for the wonderful time he spent with us last week and the knowledge he kicked to us. But we have a one and done for episode 347. And the one and done, does it say what year it was released? I'm trying to see. It says date first available through Amazon was January 1st, 2006.
Right. That's when it was re-released.
Re-released, yes.
I would have to go to Discogs and see if this was even listed.
Probably not.
But yeah, let's say it was earlier than this.
Much earlier. This is, I believe, the debut record. Maybe the only.
I believe it's the only. I think there were singles.
I think
and then this is what I think happened. I could be wrong. What I think happened is he released a bunch of singles, and then they put them all together and made this.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I believe happened.
And this is the we'll call it.
We'll call it the only.
The only LP by Captain Rock, and it's called To the Future Shock. And I have 11 tracks on this.
As do I.
Track number 1, sorry, John. The Cosmic Blast. It's not an intro, it's a real track.
It is. Don't try and tell me this was a 2006 album.
No way.
That must be told about a man from space who requires some soul. You see her, I go for Pluto, aim to make the dance, guaranteed to put the ladies in the trap. Cause I'm 5'6", got a silver dip ship. Come on in, I'll take you on a trip to.
Well, he's got a silver dipped ship. Where do I get one of those?
I have no idea. I don't necessarily think that would float. Track number 2, Bongo Beat. I love these old records.
Yes.
All the ladies with the symbolic dreads. Hit me, man. Here we go. Here we go. The beat drum drops in the back of the seats. You're cruising and rolling with my bongo beats. The blast of my bass has a rembling sound. The snare drum kicks and the bells are down. You're chosen, not choosing on a different scale. Party rockin' never stop when it starts to yell. And if you feel like you can just rock with me, cause you'll be breaking and shaking with my bongo beat.
You're breaking and shaking with my bongo beat. I'm just waiting for him to go. Rah.
There was one little segment in there where it sounded like they were a little bit off, but then they fixed it.
It's highly possible.
Track number 3.
It's hard to keep the bongo beat.
It really is. Track number 3, House of Rock.
Smash your guitar on the floor. Slam your body all across the wall. No punks, no shoes, no daily news. No pinstripes or Monday blues. Blasting that music from the box. B-boys breaking around the clock. If you're not into it, it's quite a shock. Cause anything goes in the House of Rock. House of Rock.
House of Rock. Now, I will tell you, coming into this, the only song I ever knew from Captain Rock was House of Rock.
Mm-hmm. Track number 4, Captain Rock, To the Future Shock.
Ooh.
So that's really
call this a title track? Yeah.
Yes, you can call it a double title track because it's the title and the artist.
See you later, John. That like early 80s electro.
I love it. Track number 5, Return of Captain Rock.
Where'd he go? To the Future Shock.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he rocks.
Track number 6. You stink.
No, I don't.
I've been told that many times. All you have to do is look at my fantasy football team to know that.
It's a 7:45. You gotta meet your girl. You're fresh, dressed with jazzy curls. You got Louis shoes, a Dessous shirt, but your girl doesn't come, and your feelings are hurt. Why? Hey.
He sounds very much like Ice-T in Breaking there.
Mm-hmm. Track number 7, The Pure. I also picked up a little bit of a Curtis Blow vibe on him.
Oh, yeah. Fresh. Here's something really fresh.
And now for something really fresh. Track number 8, Return of Captain Rock, Instrumental.
So that would be the B-side of the Return of Captain Rock 12-inch.
See, I love these instrumentals.
Yes. It's for all the B-boys. Rock, rock, rock. Captain Rock. He rocks.
Track number 9 is called House of Rock, Dub.
The House of Rock, House of Rock, House of Rock.
So what this is a 7-track album because it's all of his 12 inches put together.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the remixes and dubs and instrumentals and
Yep. Track number 10 is another dub. You Stink, Dub.
You stink.
You stink, Bill Dub.
Like I said, he must have watched my fantasy football team.
Yeah. Dub.
And finally, track number 11, Bonus Beat.
You gotta get the bonus beat in there. Is that Run beatboxing?
That might be. That is your one and done for episode 347. To the Future Shock by Captain Rock.
Not to the East Blackwards.
No. And I know it's going to shock you, but there were no charting action on
What?
that record at all. I know, it's very difficult to understand.
Come on, son.
But was there charting action on our next one? Maybe.
Possible.
Only way to find out is by checking out our record of the week.
Well, we
Record
should
of the
do
week
that
for
then.
episode 347 came to us November 12th, 1996.
A number. No.
Recorded at the Hit Factory in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
On Undies label and Undies Records, Big Beat Records, and Atlantic Records.
That's a lot of records.
Under producers, it just says various, so there's probably too many to even mention.
Yep.
This is a debut album.
Everyone you ever heard of.
And Peppa is Boo. Except Boo probably would have gotten her ass kicked by this one.
Yeah.
This is the debut studio album by, and it kills me when I hear people talk about Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion and this WAP song because they ain't doing anything that Lil' Kim hadn't done in the past.
Nope.
Your record of the week for episode 347, Hardcore by Lil' Kim.
Yes.
And this has...
Hey, Brian.
On my list, I have 16 tracks, including a bonus track.
I do not have the boner track on here.
So you have 15 then. Yes?
I do.
Okay, so we're just going to go with 15. Track number 1, it's a shame John is gone.
Yep.
is a 2-minute and 14-second intro called Intro in A minor.
All right, sir. Which side of the street would you like to be on?
Yeah, that one. That's not right there.
Oh, okay. Okay, that would be $4.90, please.
Yeah, here's $5. So keep the change.
Oh, fuck you!
And that is a cab in New York.
And fuck you.
Yeah.
Track number 2, featuring Lil C's and Hawaiian Sophie, Big Mama Thang.
Just so you know, this is a future BRL.
You got it going on. Yeah, you got it going on.
I think Chris Rock samples this in one of his releases.
I know.
You got it going on. Yeah, you got it going on. I used to be scared of the dick. Now I throw lips to the shit. Handle it like a real bitch. Have the hunter, Janet Jack me, take it in the bud. Yes, what?
Yes, what?
Yeah, that's got Bill Reed lyrics written all over.
Yeah, it does. A lot of this album does.
But yeah, Chris Rock sampled that on one of his things off of the, was it Bigger and Blacker record or whatever?
I think so,
that he
yes.
put on? Because it was like Mr. Jaws, if you remember that.
Yep.
And I knew it started with, I used to be scared of the dick. Track number 3 features Piss Dookie. It's called No Time. And we got no time for Piss Dookie, so that makes sense.
I got no time for fake niggas. Just sip some Cristal with these real niggas. From east to west coast, spread love niggas. And while you niggas talk shit, we count bank figures. I got no time for fake niggas. Just sip some Cristal with these real niggas. From east to west coast, spread love niggas. And while you niggas talk shit, we count bank figures. I got no time for fake niggas.
Okay, I can't give you any more Piss Dookie.
He doesn't give any no time, you know.
No.
Track number 4, Spend a Little Dough.
Baby, I missed you.
I missed you too.
I waited a long time for this.
So why you ain't come see me? No commissary or nothing.
I ain't want to see my bird in no cage, but I'm ready to take care of you now.
Now, after 3 years. 3 motherfucking years, nigga. You know what?
Hasta la vista. Bye-bye, kiss your kids. It's the gangsta shit. What you think this is, nigga? Calm yourself. It's just a little robbery.
Little robbery.
Track number 5, Take It.
Okay, play it.
It's only 46 seconds long.
Yeah, that bitch on my dick, man. She see my Benz roll on my dick. Fuck that bitch.
Yo,
I'ma knock her ass. So, yo, you should fuck her home, girl.
I want to, man. But the bitch was some eating pussy shit, yo. Man, I'm not trying to fuck with that kid.
Nah, but
Too
the
full
other
of
one,
head.
though, with the other one, the little short one with the fat ass.
Where?
I think if right there, I think I could put in the ass. tonight.
Track number 6 features Little C's, Crush on You.
Bitch, please,
check it. Yo, I be buying V's, so all my girls be eyeing C's. Coming backstage, dying to get pleased. You got me, I rock me.
Before you even ask, I know this was a single.
Spot and grinning with a bunch of foxy women. While you speedball with cars, that's the valley. I get close, custom made.
This is my diner. I'm mailing yo Alice.
Track number 7, Drugs. How many of us have them?
You know, feel me on this.
Ladies and gents, your dopey host presents extravagance in the lady frame. Leaving cum stains, niggas remain all. When I go to Dillinger, over to your jaw. Never a flaw, never before have you seen such magnificence in the black princess.
Track number 8, Schemin', but it's spelled way different.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. Ain't got no Nah, look at his. Nah, he ain't got no cash.
No,
man.
fuck that. That
That's
chain probably big chain.
Hell yeah.
He
You
got
know,
no
Vicky
dog.
got the fucking dollars.
Yeah, for real.
You know,
pull up
let's
on
set
him.
that nigga up.
Nah, you, only way you get that motherfuckers with some ass, yo. That's the only thing. You know,
Suck
get
his
out.
dick. He
I-
probably
He
like
like
that shit.
menage a trois.
Run them pockets, right?
Run them pockets.
Track number 9, Queen Bitch, which is probably the most apt title for Lil Kim.
Yeah.
If Peter Piper pecked him, I bet you Biggie bust him. He probably tried to fuck him. I told him not to trust him. Lyrically, I dust him off like flesh, hit hard like sledgehammer.
I tell you, during this time period, nobody wanted a piece of Kim.
Nobody. Nope.
Nobody.
Foxy Brown tried and didn't necessarily succeed.
And she went deaf.
Track number 10, Dreams.
How many of us have them?
No, you're not saying I'm from Brooklyn.
If you only knew at that point.
Track number 11. It's funny. I had to mute my mic because I was laughing too much. Track number 11, Mafia Land.
It's like a failed amusement park.
But yeah, and the mafia's land, y'all. Where loyalty is everything. The mafia forgives, but never forgets.
And it always rains here in Mafia Land.
You need an umbrella. Track number 12, We Don't Need It. I
You just said we did need it.
I just said you did. Nobody
I want some
listens.
pussy tonight. I think I want to fuck my bitch Goldie and shit. Goldie supposed to have some money for me and shit. I think about fucking her and go fuck my other bitch that live in fucking pig houses. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. But check it. How you spell cash? C's and some hash. At last, a nigga kicking game full blast. How you want it? Diamonds or diamonds? Just sport book bags and bags from Chanel. It's Miyagi, smell like my Kawasaki.
Now, see, they didn't mention any guest artists on there,
Mm-hmm.
but that
wasn't
most
Lil'
definitely
Kim?
Not Lil' Kim. Track number 13 features Jermaine Dupri. It's called Not Tonight.
I swore you were about to say Jermaine Jackson.
No.
JM, y'all.
Come on.
JM, y'all. Come on. JM, y'all.
Is that for Jermaine? What's JM?
JM, y'all. Oh, so deaf. Come on.
I know a dude named Jimmy used to run up in me. Nighttime, cause he drunk off the Henny and Remy. I didn't mind it when he fucked me from behind. It felt fine, especially when he used to grind it. He was a trick when I sucked his dick. He used to
See? Listen to these lyrics, and I'm telling you, Lil'
Yeah.
Kim did it long before Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion.
Yep.
Track number 14, Player Haters.
Hey, yo. What up, baby? That little stink ass bitch, Kim. Them little snake niggas, man. I don't like
Yeah, I
that
see
bitch,
that
man.
bitch. I
But
can't
that's my
stand
word,
that
right?
bitch, yeah.
Yo, that's my word, son. But yo, on the real though, the bitch do be having some cheddar and the bitch be rocking some ice. You know what I'm saying?
I see
I
it,
be
son.
seeing her floating with little niggas here.
And last track, how appropriate. Fuck you.
Fuck you, man.
Not personally, man.
Oh, okay.
Carrying rap barbarian.
I get.
Six blade character. I brings the most dangerous diseases. Tripe pleasing seeds of all types. Homosexuals, dice, intellectuals like my flow, my charm. Wifey on the arm and stay fucking other bitches. Style never switches. Inhale, exhale. Bell Nino Brown now push you in upper town.
Nino Brown.
That's going to do it for your record of the week, Hardcore by Lil' Kim. And yes, there were some singles released. There were 3 singles released.
Shri. Let me pull up the song order again. I'm going with No Time, track 3. Yep. Crush on You, track 6.
Yep.
And no Queen Bitch. Not Tonight, track 13.
You are 100% right.
Woo!
Well done.
Thanks.
And there was charting action for the record, not for any of the singles, I don't think. Let me double check. Let's see. Yes.
Didn't this album go like 2 or 3 times platinum?
I think it did, yes.
I know this is a big one.
You know what? No Time. Let's take a look at that first.
Okay.
That did chart. That charted on 4 separate charts.
Damn.
One of which is in the UK. UK singles peaked at number 45. US Billboard Hot 100 peaked at number 18. Hot R&B and hip hop songs peaked at number 9. US rap songs peaked at number 1.
Damn.
So No Time was a very successful record.
No Time to Fool. No, that's not that one.
Let's see what Crush on You did.
I bet you that was a big one.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 charts. UK singles chart peaked at 23. US Hot 100, 56. US Rhythmic Top 40 at 34. And US R&B at number 9. And the Billboard CHR Rhythmic Hip Hop Top 20, which was a completely different chart I've never heard
That's a
of,
new one.
peaked at number 3. So let's get out of that and take a look at Not Tonight and see if there was any charting action on that.
Let's do that.
What I have to do is I have to go into... Okay. Couple of international charts. We're not going to name all of them. We will go with the 3 U.S. charts. U.S. Billboard Hot 100, all the way up to number 6.
Damn.
U.S. Hot R&B Hip Hop songs, all the way up to number 3.
Nice.
U.S. rap songs, this was a number 1 record.
Impressive.
Now, oddly enough, this chart was not a weekly chart back then, but it was a year-end chart. And this song was on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 year-end charts for Billboard.
Damn.
Hot 100 peaked to 46.
Mm-hmm.
Hot R&B single sales, 21. Hot R&B airplay, 31. Hot rap singles, number 8. And then did you know that there was a year-end chart for our favorite chart ever?
Hell no.
The U.S. Billboard.
I like 3 Hard Dicks a lot.
Not that one.
That's not a chart. That's a confession.
Maybe it is. I don't know.
You can choose which one you want because it is the U.S. Billboard Hot Dance Music Maxi Single Sales.
I know this little girl, her name is Maxine. Her beauty's like a bunch of roses. If I ever tell you about Maxine, you older say I don't know what I know.
And that was at number 11 on there. I'm going to see if that year-end chart was on any of these other ones. Let's see. Yes. The song Crush on You.
You just want to hear the Shabba Ranks one.
On the year-end chart for... was also a number 11 song. Now let's see if the third one was.
Whew.
Because if we get 3 out of this after not having any, year end, no. Not on this one. So I'm not even going to mention the other year end one.
Okay.
I just wanted that.
Yes, that's fair.
So that was the singles. And now let's see what the album did. The album peaked on the U.S. Billboard 200, peaked all the way up at number 11.
Nice.
Top R&B hip-hop albums peaked at number 3. The end of the year chart for 1997, the U.S. Billboard end of the year 200, it was a top 100 record. It finished at 66.
Nice.
And the U.S. top R&B hip-hop albums for the year of 1997, number 11. 11 is a big number for this record.
So it seems.
And it is certified as 2 times platinum. Hardcore by Lil' Kim, your record of the week for episode 347. Good record.
It is.
And like I said, she was doing it long before
She was
Cardi.
Before people were hardcore.
Back when Cardi was watching the Backyardigans,
Yep.
Our artist of the month, we're going to remind you, is the man known as Bumpy Knuckles. We know him as Freddie Fox. He is your artist of the month. Go check out some Freddie Fox, a.k.a. Bumpy Knuckles. Let that play overnight while you're sleeping, and give our friend of the show some spins and some money.
Yeah.
And
give him a nickel or two.
And before, yeah, that's basically what it amounts to.
Yeah.
Our old to the new for this week, because we said we had one.
Yes.
Comes to us from a new album that hopefully will have cleared for next week.
Yeah, we have it now. I just can't import it to play it flawlessly. I mean, there would be stops and breaks but
well, next week it's going to release everywhere on September 25th. But right now, we're going to play one track from the new album, Don't Fight Your Demons, by Arrested Development, including friend of the show, Speech. The name of this record is Becoming. Brought to you by Arrested Development and the Mr. Throwback Thursday podcast. Enjoy.
Bigger.
I know I will become the best I can. Become the best I can. Become the best I can. I know I will become the best I can. Become the best I can. Become the best I can.
9 years old, my mama and daddy already divorced years ago. Now it's just me, her, and Joe. Joe is a boyfriend that wishes mom was a different race. Cause with his fist, he put bread all over her face. Beat the brakes off her. I say something, he beats me too. I said a lot, he beat me often. Took his fists and punched me dead in the jaw. Told me to tell my teachers I'm clumsy and I often fall. One day I had enough, and I called 911. I could have went from 9 to 11 by the time the police would come. They rang the bell of this living hell. My mama ran to the door before I killed myself. What I saw would forever create a scar. Mama bruised and scarred, told him that nothing was wrong. And it would be from then on. I took to the streets, got me a piece, earned some R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Come on.
I know I will become the best I can. Become the best I can. Become the best I can. I know I will become the best I can. Become the best I can. Become the best I can.
I took on everything in my life head on. Even if it's fights, my fuse was easy to light, and I was literally a stick of dynamite. My good times was nights with bloody faces from victims I beat from not looking at me right. Walking the street, the flashing lights, they got me. Drugs in the car and an unregistered gun on my body. Back to the prison, it's a party. I got more friends there than out here, sad hardly. But it's been years of recidivism. What used to be black and white has become a full-colored prison. And now I got a daughter, and she needs my wisdom. I have become the same Joe that made my own home a prison. There's a halfway house I want to enlist in. I've been sober, I started some very emotional heavy lifting. But I know I have a gift and a heavenly mission. So I'ma get a new life by living life totally different.
This is a real world.
I will become a true man. Inshallah, East African name for father is Mama. I will not be an average Joe, no, not by far. I name my beautiful baby daughter, Aha. It's Arabic for splendid glory. I tell her, we all can make our own end of our story. Our intro is just our entrance. It's chapter 1, and we can make a clean cut like when an act is done. Forward ever, run.
I know I will become the best I can. Become the best I can. Become the best I can. I know I will become the best I can. Become the best I can. Become the best I can.
Can you shut your mouth for a minute?
No.
Because I actually work in the ghetto. I see the people.
Do you know why they're in that position?
I see these people.
Do you understand the systematic and historical reasons why they're in that position?
They don't care. All they want to do is be ghetto.
No.
Yes, most of them just want to suck off the system or do something bad like drugs or gangs, and that's all
They have been oppressed. They have not been given the same opportunities you have had. No, they don't, Dad. And you not recognizing that as an issue is the reason why it's still continuing today.
There's always filthy animals.
You're calling people of color, you're calling them animals. Are you kidding me? That's not okay. Racism is not okay. Why do you think that racism is okay?
Now, I'm looking at statistics.
Your statistics, they can be worse. Do I need to show you a bunch of videos of cops attacking protesters, peaceful protesters? Mom, I was watching political stuff and you said to turn that off because you don't want to hear about it.
Because I'm sick of hearing it.
The fact that you can have that ignorance for the majority is bliss.
Okay.
Ignorance for the minority is
looking at
destruction.
That's a badass track.
It is. Speech never fails to deliver.
Never. And one of the smoothest voices in the history of hip hop.
Mhm.
I rank him right up there with Q-Tip as
Yeah.
far as that timbre of the voice and how he never really gets overly excited, just kind of keeps it on the straight and narrow. Loved it. Becoming by Arrested Development, coming off of their new album Don't Fight Your Demons, which comes out next week. If all goes well, we will have that record for you.
We will.
Hopefully
It
as
will
a
be record of the week.
So we look forward to that. And now we'll take our final break of the evening. And when we come back, we're going to read a little lyrics. We're going to go over a little bit of fake football. And then we'll remind people of a couple of things. And then we're going to put a bow on episode 347 of Mr. Throwback Thursday.
Since the Hendersons probably are not going to make it this week for Fresh Flicks, Gail, what night would you like to do? Wednesday night or Thursday night? And Bill, Wednesday or Thursday night?
Oh, I have to find out. I have to find it because one of these nights I have to go up to my mom's house and finish cleaning it. I just don't know what night.
You let me know which one it's not going to be, and that's the night we'll do it.
I will find out what I can when I can, because it really depends on when my brother and his wife can get up there too. So
Gail said either one works for her, so that's good. So we can do a last minute. All right, I can go tonight. Ta-da, we'll do it.
Sounds good.
All right. Let me grab this here. Let me come over here. And that is not the folder I thought I was in. Do I have it under Bumpy? No. Do I have it under Fox? Yes. Bring that there. We'll bring that down there. We'll grab our video, which is not here. It's in a completely different folder. Bring it over here. And there's the Bill Reeves lyrics video. And we'll put that on the screen. We'll have it ready. It's not the IG. It's not that one.
IG.
We'll bring that over there. We'll bring this over here. All right. There. Put that on the screen. Okay. So we will go to this screen here. Then we'll hit this drop, and we'll come back in
Drop. Drop.
with a Shri. Who's your mama?
Everybody's spitting it. The rhyme is hot. Cause it's Big Shook, Guru, and Freddie the Fox. When Premier bring the beats, no, it just don't stop.
Yo, what up? Peace, everybody. This is Freddie Fox, a.k.a. Bumpy Knuckles. That's right, Pop Duke. You're checking out the Classic Hip Hop Podcast with my boys Jamie and Bill. That's right, it's Mr. Throwback Thursday we're talking about. If you ain't listening, you slipping. Don't forget, in order to learn history, you got to talk to people who know it. Jamie and Bill know it. Mr. Throwback Thursday. Check it out. Classic Hip Hop in the building. Salute Freddie Fox, a.k.a. Bumpy Knuckles, signing out. Peace.
For all them faking ass niggas and how I bust up their nose. And while your nose is dripping and draining blood, I'll be standing over you screaming, nigga, what?
But it starts with Bill.
I'm Bill S. Preston. It's called reading. Top to bottom, left to right. Group words together as a sentence. Take Tylenol for any headaches. Midol for any cramps.
Most people probably don't listen to the lyrics, but they should.
Welcome to Bill Reads Lyrics.
And yes, I still do that.
So do I.
Welcome back to Mr. Throwback Thursday, episode 347. It is indeed time for Bill Reads Lyrics. So, this is not the IG version. This is the actual show version.
Yes.
But you can check out Bill Reads Lyrics on Instagram and get a bonus Bill Reads Lyrics every week.
Yes, and it is the bonus Bill Reads Lyrics is not from our era.
No.
So it is something you will never ever hear during the show.
Right. So, that being said, why don't you hit me up with something for the show?
I will. I will send it over here through the chat.
The chat. Le chat. Oh, here's a guy we haven't heard from in a while.
Yeah. He's part of that Universal Hip Hop Museum thing that's going on tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he is.
And we're going to take it down to verse 3.
And let's see. There it is. Okay.
All right. So then, with no type of ado.
None?
Sesame Street Grover style, whether nearer or further, we will cue motherfucking piano.
I'm slinging that game like it ain't Jack. She's fat, black cat, but she won't look back, rolling this viper, trying to entice her. Don't need a front, but I likes to get me an attitude, fighting over who pulls up. 2 dogs in a sports car, playing old cuts, turned down the James Brown. I said, "What's up, girl?" But she still won't turn around. Attitude. What up? Attitude. What's up? When the girls are playing the role, and what do? Call them stuck up. Now we're both trying to front like we don't care. Whip a U-turn to get a quick stare, but the face was hurting. Damn. The girl's grill was tore up. Mustache wasn't working. Grandma old face with a nom-ass body. Mac Daddy didn't want this hottie. Flashback to the crying game. I hate to see any parts of that poontang. Usually, I'm quick to Mac, but that's roadkill. Back it up, Black Quizzit, to jizzit with the quick isits. For Z's it, to Z's it. It's hard for me to leave it. Not sexist, just sexy with my dialogue. 'Cause I'm a nasty, barking and biting dog.
I love me some Mix-a-Lot. That one, M-I-X-A-L-O-T.
You don't get a roadkill reference very often.
No, especially not what he was talking about. How about flashing back to the Crying Game?
That was a good line.
Yeah, it was.
Hey, let's flash back to last season when we actually had fake football updates.
Yeah.
Do we have a fake football bump?
We do. I just had to get it. Hold on. Let's see what we got here. I should make a video out of this one. Let's do this with a Shri. Who's your mama?
Foosball. Bunch of overgrown monsters manhandling each other.
Hello? You play to win the game.
Playoffs? What talking about? Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
That's how I feel about the Jets right now.
And
Hope
Giants
we can
too.
win a game.
All right, the new 2020 season is underway. We have 12 teams in the league again.
I don't know how many people know they're in the league, but we have 12.
We're going to recap week 1 really quick. Thuggish Rugsish is me. And I lost to Jockin' Mike D, 120.88 to 88.64. Yes, to my dismay. So that put me at 0-1 as of last week.
Yes.
And consistently holding down the 12th spot as I finished last year.
Uh-oh.
Game number 2 was much closer. Bella Check Yourself, I believe, is still Becca.
Yes.
Narrowly beat Go See Josh Doxson.
Yeah, I was kind of irritated.
123.78 to 120.60. So it's a 3.18 victory.
Yep.
So Becca is 1-0.
L is an L, but
Jamie is 0-1.
Yep.
Drop a cam on him. Who is that?
Let's see. Based on the logo,
Yeah.
I'd say that's Manny.
Yep, that's Manny from last year.
Yeah.
Big win over K-Mac, first out the limo, keeping his name from last year because he probably doesn't realize he can go in and change it. 147.92 to 118.96. That is a puddle stomper.
Yeah, it's a rough one.
That's as bad as that. It's actually not as bad as mine, though. Well, no, it's about the same. Another close one. Weapon X gonna give it to you. I'm sure
Yeah.
who that is.
That's Greg.
That's a good name.
Yes.
With a very narrow victory over Dr. Trey Flowers.
We just sank it, right?
Sank it, I believe. Yes. 114.30 to 111.80. So that one was real close.
Yeah.
John Henderson with Cream, which stands for Cook Rules Everything Around Me. I
Yes.
believe. With a somewhat narrow victory over Felicia, and AP got 5 on it. 113.04 to 107.50. And finally, Make 'em Say Ow, the defending champion,
Yeah,
Hugo.
Hugo.
Off to a big start, 141.58 over the Fife Dog Pound, Dr. Tim, the birthday boy, 112.70.
And I believe he had Felicia this week, too.
He very well may have. So let's quickly jump to week 2 and see where we're at. As we are in the home stretch, I'm probably going to drop to 0-2. Fife Dog Pound is up on Thuggish Rugsish, 123.44 to 82.08. Dr. Trey Flowers is down to Go See Josh Doxson by 97.80 to 90.30. You both have, I think, one person playing.
Yeah, I got Drew Brees, and I think he has Jared Cook.
Bella Check Yourself, looking to go 2-0. Well on her way. 110.36 to 90.58 over K-Mac, first out the limo. And that one's going to be final because he doesn't have anybody else playing.
Right.
So Becca's going to go to 2-0. Jock and Mike D with a big turnout this week. 112 over Drop a Cam on him. Right now at 109.80.
Yeah, well, Russell Wilson
looks
put up
like-
like 45 points for him.
Yeah, Ronnie got a good quarterback, man.
Yeah.
How is this for a crazy close game? High scoring. Cream, 140.40. Over Weapon X, going to give it to you, 139.22.
Watch out for the
hope
stat
there's
corrections.
No scoring stat corrections this week. And finally, this one's a final, and this one's a puddle stomp too. Make 'em say Al goes to 2-0 over AP, got 5 on it, 141.88 to 88.86. So, the rich
Now we
get
already know
richer.
Felicia may not know that she's in the league because even though she has AP, she started George Kittle this week.
who's out.
Yep.
But then again, a lot of people are out after this week. So
Yeah, but he was out before this week.
I'm going to have to do some serious
Waiver wire
maneuvering.
scrubbing.
Waiver wire scrubbing, and thankfully we get an injured reserve, so
Yes.
that helps. Can't do anything with the team until the league week is over, though. So can't
Right,
make any
yeah.
adjustments until tomorrow.
I think waiver wire pickups are Wednesday. So I mean, you put them in, you put your claims in, but you won't get them until I think Wednesday morning.
So that's where we stand right now in the Fake Football League. We will go into further detail next week on that as well. So good luck, everybody. I'm looking at 0-2. Yes.
Yay!
I'll be stared at ice cubingly once again.
I don't know. You and the Felicia commissioner matching records,
Yeah. And Felicia, too.
and Felicia. It's a 3-way runoff to start the season.
Fresh Flicks is going to be happening either the 23rd or 24th. We will decide as we get closer on that. It really depends on everybody's
We're
schedules.
pretty damn close.
Because, life happens and, I've got some
Yes.
stuff I got to
Everybody, go watch Tougher Than Leather. It's on YouTube, and then
And it's free.
Yep, and hit us up with your review because first show of next month we will be talking about it.
All right. So I believe it is time to Phil Collins this bitch.
It is.
So I shall take us home.
Please do.
Everything about this show tonight was fueled by Death, and that's the world's strongest coffee, Death Wish Coffee. You can get it in cold brew, as Jamie is showing you, or you can make it hot and drink it out of a cool Mr. Throwback Thursday mug, or the new TBT Posse mug, of course.
Yes.
Death Wish Coffee. Find them on Facebook, Twitter, or at deathwishcoffee.com. Use the code THROWBACK. Save 10% off your order. Don't forget to check out friends of the show, Def Rugs, defrugs.com, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at Def Rugs. High-quality, handmade, hip-hop themed rugs brought to you by the one and only Ruggy Fresh himself, Marshall Fox, and his business partner, the green-eyed bandit, Eric Sermon.
Yes.
Heather Len up in Schenectady, New York, has the Bittersweet Candy Company, where she makes candy and chocolate that is handmade, small batch, different, and
delicious.
check them out on Facebook and order at bittersweetcandy.com. Use our code THROWBACK and save 10% off your order, which I may do because I saw she was making chocolate-covered circus peanuts the other day.
Yep.
And I may very well want to try those.
And when you go into a diabetic coma, I will have to pick up a new co-host.
Like Wilford Brimley.
Yes.
I'll have the diabetes. Melted Mics, MLTDMICS.com, Pumice T. Mandola's t-shirt shop, hip-hop themed t-shirts. You can use our code Mr. Throwback Thursday, save 10% off your order there. Get that Trump Gets the Gas Face t-shirt and wear it proudly as you vote.
Yes.
I may very well buy one just to wear it to the polls. And Etsy.com/shop/geek-like-you, the one and only place to get all Mr. Throwback Thursday themed merchandise and other things as well from the crazy mind of Mr. Throwback Thursday himself and his wife. There is the lineup t-shirt for the roll call, I should say,
Yep.
for the elements of hip-hop.
I have to make a new one that says Posse.
Yes, because they're an element to us anyway.
I heard that they're elemental like uranium.
I've heard about that, yes. Don't forget the social media network for this show.
Yeah.
Mr.
which
Throwback
we have to add one.
Thursday.com. Huh?
We have to make sure that we add.
Yes. Mr. Throwback Thursday.com is the home channel for everything. You go there and you can click on the show notes and review all the articles. You can click on
Like
the
Gail does.
microphone and hit us up. You can listen to old episodes. I actually played the very special BRL episode for somebody at work today, which was
2 hours of
available
Bill reading lyrics.
because she had never heard what Bill Reed's lyrics was. She only got through about 20 minutes of it, and she's like, I can't take anymore. I gotta pee. So, but they're all there.
Yes.
The only place where they all are. You can follow us on Twitter, _MR_TBT and Bill_MR_TBT. You can also follow us on Instagram. We have 3 Instagrams now.
We do.
Bill is at Bill_MR_TBT on Instagram. Jamie's personal is at Mr. Throwback Thursday. And the special BRL IG at Bill Reed's Lyrics. Follow along and you'll get your weekly dose of a bonus Bill Reed's Lyrics on Instagram.
After dark.
And hopefully by next week, we'll have it all ironed out. Maybe there'll be a TikTok too. You never
Yes.
know. Let's see. We mentioned Twitter. We mentioned Instagram. The Facebook page, of course. Go follow us on Facebook at Mr. Throwback Thursday. And check us out every Thursday morning from 6 to 8 a.m. Eastern on Fresh Radio at itsfreshradio.com. The one and only DJB running itsfreshradio.com. As well as anybody runs anything, really.
Fresh Radio, which comes up on its 10th anniversary on the 10th of next month.
10 it started.
Yes, at 10 a.m.
At 10 a.m. Look at all
It
that.
did.
So we have some shout outs to give, yes?
We do, and there's some new ones.
There are a couple of new ones. So let's get right to it. Shout outs to Gail Dunmeyer, Manny Baez, Sarah Henderson, John Henderson, Hugo Gonzalez, Sanket Patel, Teresa Lynn Simple Luxuries at teresalins.com, Kat Malark, Clay Arsenault, Fred Diedrich, Raphael Ward, Jason Eckert, the Shrieking Warrior Jennifer Buchanan, and our newest patrons, Jacob O'Neill and Jason Heath. They all get mentioned now because they got five on it.
Or more.
You want to get your name mentioned every week like them? Become a patron. Go to patreon.com/MRTBT. If you were a patron, you were eligible for the Elemental like uranium mug with the TBT Posse logo on it.
And if you go over to Teespring, you can order this on shirts and whatnots and zip up hoodies.
Whatnots are fun.
They are.
So don't forget to about all of our friends in the industry here. The Kings of Sport, Brother Nate Milton, Marcus Vanderberg, Anthony Imran and Rug Boy over at the Jock and Nerd podcast. Our friends at Death Wish Coffee have the only show other than ours that can say they're fueled by death, and that's because it's their product.
It is.
Fueled by Deathcast with the incredible Jeff. We have Guess Who's Talking with Mr. Long. We have the Search Says podcast. And a whole lot of other ones as well.
Rappers and Ballers, is that what Fredro's was?
Rappers and Ballers by Fredro, yes. Our friend Talking Ty has her webpage at brooklyntynyc.com. You can go over on Facebook and check out Real Rap for the Old School Hip Hop Heads and home of the TBT Posse, so you can share the ridiculousness that you hear every week on the Mr. Throwback Thursday podcast.
You should definitely do that.
That's what we kind of deal in on a regular basis. We mentioned the hardest working turntablist in the world, DJB. He is on It's Fresh Radio. They have an app for your phones as well, if you want to get in on that. Every Thursday, we're on from 6 to 8, and then you can stick around for the All Request show. Send your requests into B and listen as he seamlessly gets them in. It's really amazing how good he is at that.
And I try to mess him up. I really do.
I know you do. And he's just really, really good. And they give us love on their feed as well, which is always nice.
Over on the verbal intercourse. That's the chat room on Fresh Radio.
So don't forget to subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff wherever you find this show. Your input helps our output, and we appreciate everything you bring to the table that helps us bring what you want to hear.
Yes.
So until next week, episode 348 will be coming at you. Until then, be good to each other, be good to yourselves, wash your hands.
Wash your butt.
wear your masks, and
Over your nose.
over your nose, yes. And we will see you next week for episode 348. Until then, keep it classic, everybody. And always remember,
New school stale, old school fresh.
F-R-E-S-H, fresh, fresh, fresh. Yo, that's fresh.
to our Elemental Like Uranium patrons and stream watchers, we thank you very much for joining us. We will see you next week. Until then, peace out.
See ya.